Al. Thanks, Al, Jim, Emery.
A mentor? A mentor? For me? What for? I joined Toastmasters 8 years ago. I thought I was hot stuff. I had been a performer all my life. Ithaca High School Best Actor 1968. I had coached performers for decades. 2011 Barbershop Quartet silver medalists. I found a friendly little club in downtown Minneapolis. They had speaking and evaluating slots every week for me to show off my superior skills. So I joined. When they asked me if I wanted a mentor, no, that won't be necessary. One meeting, a new guy showed up. His name was Al. Nobody knew where he came from. He wanted to join, so we let him in. But Al had one big challenge that we had to share with him. Al had a massive stuttering problem. I believe he had struggled with it most of his life. And he was at least in his 50s, maybe older when I met him. Al's stuttering made any meeting role a giant challenge, not just for him, but for the meeting as a whole. A 1-minute Toastmaster introduction became 2 minutes of struggle. A 3-minute speech eval became 4 or 5 grueling minutes. And Al's own speeches were 5 to 7 minutes or more of absolute frustration. Most of the club members were politely patient, but frustrated at how this affected every meeting in which Al had a role. Frank, the president, would say to himself, "Come on, Al, get through it." Membership VP Andrea would think, "Today's guests will never come back now." And I asked myself, "Well, hotshot coach, why don't you fix Al?" But Al needed a speech therapist. I'm a theater guy. Al was clearly hopeful, though, that Toastmasters could somehow help him break out of his lifelong stuttering prison. Even with his stutter, Al could sometimes be quite direct. After a particularly harsh eval from me, he shared, "Jim, just because I speak with a stutter doesn't mean I think with a stutter." Ouch. Thanks, Al. I deserved that lesson in humility. Al was smart and very studious. We often spotted him intensely researching some topic at the downtown library. At club meetings, he frequently shared his insights about some important piece of world history. Al had plenty to say if he could get it out. In the meantime, he was teaching each of us patience whenever he spoke. Thanks, Al. Al's library research made one of his table topic sessions a real experience. One question I got from Al was whether President Woodrow Wilson's timing for the United States entry into World War I was a mistake. President who? That was the question where I mastered redirecting a question into a different question that I could actually answer. I don't know if it was his intent, but that day he taught me a useful little speaking skill. Thanks, Al. Although Al kept practicing, his stuttering never really improved. But after a year or two, I began to notice that his confidence was growing. Meeting after meeting, he would take a deep breath, look us right in the eye, and do his best in whatever role he had. And as I looked more and more for content and less at delivery, I also was growing. I finally learned that fixing Al's speech lay less with his mouth and more with my ears. When I stopped listening with a stutter, I found that Al always had something meaningful to say. Although he was imprisoned by his stutter, he often bravely broke through with a moving message. As a result, I found that I learned the most important lesson of my entire Toastmasters journey from Al. Al taught me humility. Al taught me patience. Al taught me a little table topic skill, but most importantly, Al taught me courage. He showed me it isn't always what is easy or comes naturally that brings out our best. Sometimes it's taking a deep breath and being as brave as possible. He didn't know it, but Al turned out to be the best possible mentor for me. A hotshot that wasn't quite as hot as I thought. I will be forever grateful. Thanks, Al. Madam Toastmaster.